Show. This is SAGENEL here. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I'm excited about this particular episode and I've been looking forward to doing it for a while now. I'm so glad that we just had our right fit guests choose to come on to speak on this particular episode. I am excited to have Nneka join us. Today we're going to be speaking on personal brand, managing blooming in your 9 to 5 while growing your personal brand. And it is an important topic in this day and age because even though it is happening a lot, not many people are talking about how to navigate this emotionally. And so many people are just saying things like, oh, be okay. What are these things that they say now? Like, it will be fine. There's no competition. So we hear things like no competition, no, just be fine. The sky is the limit and all that. But how many people really believe that to start with? But beyond even believing that, because this is not a competition or this is not a talk about employee fighting with the employer or fighting for space with their employer. It is about what should the employer be expecting in this day and age of personal branding, where we have a lot of personal brand growing and at the same time having to work in their organization. What do we should there be a thin line? At what point does it get too much, or is it never too much? Those are some of the questions I would like us to explore with our guests today. Would it be great if we see an addition to have a star employee who is a celebrity on the outside while still working for the organization? Are there codes of conduct that wants to be put in place? These are some of the things, these and other questions, some of the things we're going to be talking about. We're also going to be talking about, we speak a bit about this building your personal brand versus versus being a part of a business. So these are some of the things we'll be talking about, and we would have our guests join us shortly. Thank you. Feel free to skip this part. Available on YouTube. You're probably even watching this on YouTube. I want you to also share your thoughts regarding this as well. We have to understand that up until now, things haven't always been this way when almost everybody has a personal brand. And so employers may start to wonder, how do I navigate this situation? How do I navigate this situation without it looking like perhaps I'm being more caring towards certain kind of people because they are perceived as high value compared to the other person? We can go on and on and on with examples, but we're here to ask the expert who has joined us now, and we're going. So I'll just go forward to read Nneka's profile once she joins in. It's really, really beautiful. Good evening. Rebecca, thank you so much for choosing
Hi,
to be.
good evening. So,
And
first disclaimer, can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so my day went a completely different way. So I'm in the car.
Mm,
A
no
completely, as in,
plans.
let's just leave it as a completely different way. So I had it planned out. In fact, I'm not even I didn't even go to the office today, but I mean, I worked from home. So the
Oh,
whole plan was so short and all that. I had to do some things. Then before you know it, one meeting now took an extra 2 hours, and then the entire day just went. So I'm in the car, but it's all good.
yes, it is. I was just admiring your picture. This particular picture that we used for the profile, the design is really beautiful. It's
Thank
really
you. Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you, Kichi.
So
Thank you.
we'll get right into your profile. Let's read your profile. We'll take a time to drink water and we'll start right with the questions. Neka Jethro Irobe is an associate director with professional service firm in Lagos, Nigeria, as an HR professional. She has enjoyed her work and career of about 15 years in one of the most challenging environments and has thrived. She's happily married, a product of office romance, wow, and combines marriage, motherhood, ministry, and money making in this adventurous journey of life. She's the author of 4 books, including the best selling Find It Bible Games, with over 10,000 copies sold, as well as her career defining books why your boss prefers your colleague, who is using your salary, and who you should know to succeed at work. She believes that employees deserve to be happy at work, especially because employees spend upwards of 70% of their waking hours at and around work. And the happiness at work is essential to their mental well-being and productivity. She loves to share these principles via Instagram live sessions, seminars, webinars, and at companies' events. She advocates that career professionals must be deliberate about building respectful and rewarding relationship with their bosses through proven frameworks and strategies. Nneka loves to cook, swim, create word games, teach, and counsel others. Of course, amongst many other things that Nneka is, that of course, if we keep on reading, we are not going to leave this place today. Thank you very much. I'm glad to see someone that can swim. So yes, that we have in common.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
When you saw my topic, I was wondering what you thought about it. Of course, this is your field, but of course, I would like to get your thoughts on what you thought when you saw the proposed topic that I shared with you. And it is about having a 9 to 5 person or a person working a 9 to 5 blooming in their career while building a personal brand without a conflict of interest. I want to start out with the first question of, is that even possible to have your 9 to 5, your personal brand that you're also trying to build without it having a conflict of interest in this 21st century? So let's start out with that.
So first, I want to say thank you for having me. Thank you for the invitation. I'm really happy to be here. Any opportunity I have to share the message of being happy at work, I take it very seriously, right? So thank you. So that's number one. But to your question, really, I think that when we see ourselves as the whole complexity that we are as human beings, we begin to see that there's many sides to us. Even if I wasn't doing anything personal brand, there is more to me than the person that shows up at work every day, right? Even before I got married and had kids, I was a daughter, right? I still am a daughter. I was a sister. I still am a sister. You understand? So before I took that contract, before I signed that contract and became an employee, there was a whole lot more to me, right? Nobody has one identity. All right, and even our persons, there's the mental part, the emotional part, spiritual part. So I'm not just one person. So I think that's really just very important, first of all, to establish. People know that when we say you're building a personal brand, we're not saying you're doing anything out of this world, but we're just saying that you are giving a part of it that already exists expression.
Okay.
Even that fits me. Even that hit me, right? You
Yeah.
are giving a part of yourself expression. I think if we look at it from that angle, it modifies the way we approach it, right? You approach it differently. You see it as, okay, this is a part of me. It exists already. It is not about trying to go and find it from somewhere. I'm just giving it expression, right? So, is it possible? Yes. And when we talk about conflicts, the fact is
Yes.
conflict of interest with respect to the use of time, resources. Let me even say on those two, right? Because when we sign a contract with an employer, we are committing to giving a certain amount of time to them to grow their own vision, to grow their own purpose, to grow their own income, right? So you've made a commitment. So we're talking about conflict as regards that respecting that time that you have already committed to giving to somebody. And once we know that that time is 8 to 5, right, it becomes easy to say, keep anything else outside that time. In today's world, so I'm just breaking it down into time. And you can let me know if you want me
Yeah.
to pause at any point
Absolutely.
in time or
No, no,
anything,
no. In fact,
right?
I'm enjoying it. I'm learning.
Okay. So in
I'm sorry, sorry
today's
to cut. I don't want to cut you, but that part that you're breaking it down about how when your employer pays you, they pay you for a particular time. I think it's very important that you brought it out in this conversation because it looks like because of the virtual work from home thing, people have forgotten that they have that kind of commitment. So I'm very happy to
yes,
be learning this.
very important, right? That you realize that I committed to a block of time, to commit this block of time in my life or block of my time to building this person's resources. It's not by force. Do you understand? When you got an employment letter, you gave testimony
I
in
hear.
church, you rolled on the floor, you called your family members, you rejoiced. So it's not by force. You can actually take that same block of time and can use it for something else. But once you have committed to somebody and you've said, I will honor this commitment by using this block of time to build your own vision, then you should respect it. All right. Now, in today's world, because things are a bit fluid, sometimes I get to wake up earlier in the morning to get work done. Sometimes I'm working in a particular day. I can get up and sit at 7 o'clock and I am there till 7, 8. On that day, I have overshot my commitment, but because now the goal is about a project deliverable, or something of that nature, I have to stay on and ensure that I achieve it. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it is that respect for that time. So that's number one. Number two is resources, right? Your employer has a printer or whatever. I think you to print your own personal stuff. You shouldn't do that, except where you have a situation where you can cover that expense by yourself. So when you have some companies have these printers and copiers where you can put in a code that indicates where the cost should go to, that kind of thing. So then you can indicate that, oh, the cost is coming to me, I'm bearing the cost directly or wherever. So you need to be careful about that. The other thing is business. In fact, let me still stay on resources. So resources again is your employer's clientele.
Okay.
Are you using it to your own advantage such that your employer is losing out? So I give you an example. When people reach out to me and say, oh, Neka, I want to do this thing, but I can't afford to pay your company, come and do it for me. My answer is no. Can I do
Wow.
it and nobody may know? Maybe. What if somebody knows? Will I be proud of myself? So that one, I will stay clear. I'm not, no. Do you understand? I'm not going to do that. So it's respect for self and respect for God. When we commit to things, right, we are committing to doing them for God. So let's be very clear. We can say nobody will see it, nobody will know, but God, the all-knowing God, is seeing everything that you're doing. And it is to him that we are accountable. All right. So I think that basic respect for God defines those things. Your skill sets, things you learn at work that are related to the core of how your employer makes money. You shouldn't use those same skills, those same things to make personal money. And to be honest, I think that if we sit back as 9 to 5ers and think of how we can deploy skills in things that are not related to our employer, there is a vast ocean of opportunities before us. It's an endless ocean of opportunities before us. We do not have to do things that infringe on our employers' rights, infringe on their time, show disrespect for them, take clients away from them that's supposed to do business with them, and do it on the side by yourself and take the money. There's really no need for all of that. You understand? And no matter how, you can't justify it, because many people do it and say, hey, after all, they are already making their budget for the year. No. Don't do that. Don't. Because you wouldn't want someone to do it to you. Very basic. So let me pause.
Okay.
Maybe you can pick questions and just delve into them.
Yes. Okay, so what is the wrong way? And you may have already answered this question in some of the statement that you have made, but I would like you to outline others that you haven't mentioned as well. Now you have established to us that okay, it is possible. But what is the wrong? Before I go to what is the right way, I don't want to jump to that. But what is the wrong way to build a personal brand while being an employee? And I ask this question, Neka, because again, it looks like the lines are getting blurred as the day goes by. And yeah, many people like you now, the one you are saying you cannot do, many people are like, oh, it's Jesus that brought the job for me. God just saw that I needed this 200K and it just came. That's how some people think. Just like a person's reversal, and you are saying somebody, God gave you the money. How can you say a reversed money, God gave you the money? Unfortunately, that is how some Nigerians think. So if you can outline to us what the wrong way is of building a personal brand while being employed, so that there are no confusions, and then we get to speak about the right way to go about it.
So thank you. I've mentioned some of them, but I will just, reiterate and then expand on some of them. I think the wrong way is when you show dishonor for your employer's time, when you use your employer's resources for personal gain. And like you said, the honest truth is that the lines keep getting blurred. There are sometimes I get some requests that are not necessarily going to impinge on, and I'm like, okay, Lord, should I do this? Should I not do this? So I'm always in that space where I'm like, I don't want to do anything. Again, because you see, the Bible says that we cannot serve God and mammon.
Yes.
If the deciding factor is money, I already know that honoring God is more important. So if the deciding factor is money, I already know that would that extra 50K make a difference for me? Yes. Would that extra 100K make a difference for me? But of course. So if I have to take a day off work or take time off work, knowing that I must make up for it consciously, then I would do that. I've had some people who have called me, come over to another part of town to come and speak in a physical session, and I have to take time off work. You understand? Or yeah. I'm like, okay, I have in 1 hour, I'm using my 1 hour break because this is it, and but you see the lines keep, because again, for example, like I said to you, sometimes I have days back to back where I'm working 7 to 7, 7 to 7, 7 to 7, 7 to 8, 9. So again, my employer is impinging on my own time, because in that instance, my eye is on the ball, on the goal. We need to deliver the reports to the client. We need to do this. We need to do so. My eye is on the ball. My eye is on the goal. You get what I mean? So it is that consciousness that I don't want to do anything. That if I am called to question, what would I say? And for me, it's more of a concern because what I do is in the public eye. If I am doing deals, maybe I'm selling land or whatever, nobody may necessarily. But what I do, I speak, I teach, I coach, I write books. So these things are in public eye. You can't coach under the table. It is the internet. Do you understand? It's the internet you get. So you can't coach under the table. People will see. You can't walk into a client, a company to go and do something. So you need to just be very, very, very careful, right? So sometimes I feel like, should I have done this thing? What if? Okay, this is what I was thinking when I did it. Okay, but I don't do deals. So if you're speaking opportunities, those ones, I know that it's on the internet, it's everywhere. I'm not even, when it comes to things like that relate to the core of the work I do for my employer, no, I won't. I won't. When you call me like, no, I'm like, oh, yeah, sorry, I wish I could, but I can't. I really can't help you in this respect, because I don't want anybody tomorrow calling me and the decision was for money, and it's now be that for this amount of money, you've now stained your reputation. You've now, it's something that I don't want to be caught in. So I'm really, 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 I try to be very, very careful about it, because like I said, on the internet. So you've got to ask yourself, if this thing I'm doing comes out, and is being judged in the open, will people side with me? Will it look like I actually did something wrong? Do you guess? How will it look? And for the sake of your reputation, and because again, integrity is important to your name. You spend years building it. It takes one thing that is perceived wrongly, reported wrongly, to bring all those efforts crashing down. You really don't want to be in that space. So I think that people need to be intentional about that name matter. Name. It is so important. So anything you are doing, name above money. Name above money. Name above money. I can say it over and over again. Protect your name above the money they are going to pay you. That money will finish. You will buy whatever, data, bag, shoe, go out with the family and all of those things. But your name, what happens to it? So I think that's so important. And the thing is that I'm talking about the right ways, because your personal brand also benefits your employer when you work it well. When you work it well, your personal brand, the time you invest, benefits your employer. You understand? And so maybe we'll talk about that when we talk as we go further in the conversation.
So now let's just branch into the right way. So what's the right way to then go about it, since you've established to us that it is totally possible to have both?
So right way, the first thing I'd like to say around that is, are you your focus? And as I'm saying this, I'm talking to this is like a note to self, right? Is your focus is your focus extra income, or is your focus a personal brand? They go hand in hand, but there's a kind of a bit of a border between the two. Extra income is that you're focused on what can I do to make more money. So maybe there's a project, there are products I want to sell and things like that. A personal brand will bring you money, but personal brand is first about a message. You get what I mean? It's first about a message. And over the last 3 years that I've been focused on the happy employee message, more recently I'm seeing that I need to put more my mind needs to train more on the fact of this message needs to go out, and a little less on how much money and how can I make money. Doesn't mean I don't want to make money. No, anywhere I speak, you can check. I always say, I'm an Igbo woman. I don't play with money, man. I say it everywhere that I talk. I'm an Igbo woman to the core. I don't joke with money, right? So don't even think that I'm saying this from a place of don't make money. I would never, ever do that. So let's just be very clear. But I feel that when it becomes a message, right, it's more around, I want to impact more people. So it drives your tonality. It drives how often you create stuff. It drives how you give people stuff. So for example, I'm at an event tomorrow. It's our Career Connect conference, right, on the island. And I said to them, I want to give the first 50 people a copy of my book. And they're like, wow, that's a lot. And I said, yeah, it's a lot, but hey, it's the message. It needs to go. It's more important for me that the message goes. So even my other thing I do, which is Find It Bible Games, sometimes people reach out, we're having a charity event, XYZ. I send 10 books, 20 books, hey, thank you. I'm like, if it's bread and butter, God has given me that one. Do I want to make money? Again, I will not tire of saying this. I want to make money. If I didn't want to make money, I won't print the book and print it again. We've done about 10,000 copies now, so you can trust it's no joke. The puzzle mat has done over 200 mats. It's not a joke, but the message is, so I want to say, so the right way is asking yourself, which one is it? So that it drives. I've had companies come and speak 1 hour and they pay me what will take me how many weeks and months of selling to make that amount of money. But if I wasn't pushing the message out, nobody will mention my name for that opportunity. Nobody will see me and say, oh yes, this person can come. We can get the person a vote of confidence. You see what I mean? So the message or a product you want, you need to be sure. Now, if it's a message, that one is where I will happen, because that one is your personal brand. You must show up on a particular platform.
Okay.
Choose one, listen to God, listen to experts and choose one, and then you can scale and move from there. You need to show up with content, because again, I say this to people and I say it to my husband, we say it to each other. If you don't say I am, nobody will say thou art. If you don't say I am, nobody will say thou art.
Oh, this
When I first started
is good.
talking in February 2020 or March, April 2020, I started posting about being happy at work and adding value. Towards the end of that year, going into 2021, God said to me, change your handle to Happy Employee Coach. I say, I beg, I beg. My name was Neka Speaks or something. I say, see, everybody and their auntie is a coach on Instagram. I'm not about to be one of them. So I put in the name Happy Employee, and somebody already had that. And people was talking about their dressing to work and all that. Nothing. I'm like, I don't want to be a
Hey.
coach. But guess what? I had to obey after a while. And every time I comment on a page or I go somewhere, people are like, the name Happy Employee. Oh, simple out to be happy. Employee. You get the reaction. You get the attention. And it's not about me. I'm very clear that I try to remind myself often as much that this is about the message. People need to know that they need to be happy at work. A lot of people are frustrated at work, and if they know better, they will have less mental pressure, will have better families, because people take the frustration from work and go home and empty it on their spouses, empty it on their children.
Yeah.
And so we are raising people who are going to the workplace already stigmatized, already traumatized with their parents and uncles and aunts and elder ones' trauma, and they're not showing up as their best selves because they are going to work thinking that it's a bad place to go to. I don't want to have to work. I want the soft life. In my latest book, which is coming out soon, which is who is using your salary, I talk about this a lot because a lot of us show up at work thinking that they are suffering us. Thinking that it is punishment. So before I go too far, let me come back. A personal brand, you've got to be clear the message, and that the message is for others, not for you, right? And then you take it the next step of showing up. You must commit to a schedule as regular as you can, but be flexible, because sometimes life just happens and you can't show up like you would want to. All right, but commit. When I first started, I tried to post every day, every other day. I tried to go live every week. For months, I was going live every Sunday evening. Over the last couple of months, I haven't been able to go live as often as I would have wanted to. But when I first started, I would do that, right? Now, in the early this year, I started wanting to pivot a bit more to LinkedIn and showing up more on LinkedIn. So recently, I started trying to show up a bit more on LinkedIn daily, right? Show up a bit more on LinkedIn over the last 2 weeks, and that is growing as well. And then show up on I said myself that every week I must send out an email to my email community, because I don't think that it's not supposed that what if I run out of words to say? It never happens with personal brand, at least in the last 3 years of my experience. If I show you on my page, in fact today, let me not even go for today. When I start trying to collate topic ideas and titles for my LinkedIn growth, right? I started writing notes on my page. I got like 12, 13 pages. Today I wanted to add something, and note said it is too long. So
Wow.
I had to remove all the ideas I put together to another note. So I have two. One for fresh, one for the ones that I've posted. So I've been able to show up over the last 3 weeks consistently daily. So don't be afraid. Many people are afraid. What if I run out of what to say?
Yes.
Expunge fear. You will not run out of what to say. My coach around this is particularly Trisha Bees, right? And she said that thing, and I was like, she said, if you have if you know who you are working with, you can't be afraid of running out of content. I was like, I haven't run out of content. I have more content than I would for the next 2 months. I have what to post about. To post about. So expunge that fear. The message, focus on message, show up regularly, choose your platform, show up as regularly as you can. But remember that life happens, and but remove fear. And forget, someone said to me, I was teaching somewhere. I was talking about making money and multiplying salary, and the person said, oh, should I start with a website? I say, I bet forget all those website logo design, forget all those things. Those ones are far in the journey. It's not now. First begin with saying what it is that you want to say. Forget where I'm going to be at tomorrow. I mean, they asked me for a logo. I said, I don't have logo. Put Happy Employee, put a big smiley face on it. Save journey. But do you know, you understand? But the people call me and say, come on, talk about this, come on, talk about that. Yesterday I was at Icon on air, and they were saying to me, I have to come back again. Do you understand?
Wow.
So when you say, forget logo, forget website, forget a beautiful tagline, the message in your mouth, start posting it. Your first post don't have to be great and graphic designer. You're trying to get the best. 5 lines, 6 lines, write it, post it. 5 lines, 6 lines, write it, post it. 5 lines, 6 lines, write it, post it. As you go on, you will get better. My carousels got better on Instagram. I haven't used carousels yet on LinkedIn. I'm just posting text, but I know that eventually I will start creating carousels on LinkedIn, right? But the message, one of the very first posts I put up 3 Thursdays ago was, your salary never be enough. I was shocked. As of 2 or 3 days ago, over 20,000 impressions. And I struggled to click post because I was like, it's not really fine like that, just text, this picture, will people read it, will people like it? So people say, I started worrying that, beyond people, I say, hope my employer will not feel somehow that I'm saying salary will never be enough. Hope they will pause to read it, to see my context I'm coming from, before somebody will go and tell somebody, and then they will not, I clicked post, and and I'm like, hey. So please, your personal brand, start talking about what it is you're passionate about. And it doesn't have to be one thing. Gosh, I can go on and on this. It doesn't have to be one thing. When I first wrote Finding Bible Games 2017, I didn't even want to do anything else in addition to my work. I'm a consultant. I work in a Big Four. Anybody that knows consulting knows that we work every time of the day. We don't have stopping and closing. It's as long as there's something to deliver, we just keep going.
Yeah.
So I wasn't looking for anything extra to do. I'm telling you, I fought it because, you know what, Lord, my life is busy. I don't want anything. But I pushed on and we did it. We're happy employee. When I started getting the itch for happy employee, I was like, Father, see, I'm not even doing what we find in Bible games. I don't want another thing to do. But we started doing that one. So when I started happy employee, and the Lord said to me last year, start posting about working moms on LinkedIn. I said, see, LinkedIn is for professional. It's for seriousness. It's to talk about the things that I know in the HR space. We must take things seriously. And so I insisted on posting about being happy at work, but it was a struggle. It wasn't drinking, like I said. So I started posting once a week, dilemmas, things I struggle with, things I thought about. And I remember someone calling me from US last year. You posted about your son. Please, can you tell me XYZ, how you did it, how you did that? And I'm getting invitations. I'm getting people reaching out. I'm working in places and people are saying, people just whisper to be sure if I'm the one, That was my working mom. And I turn. I'm like, it's me. You understand? Thank you very much. This, that. Do you understand? So for me, it was like, Lord, you are giving me too much to do. I don't want more. But trust me, as he gives you, go. But the first thing I will recap is this. First, you have a message. And let it be about the message going far first. And secondly, about your money. This is something that DDK talks about a lot. She just did the book Majestic Mindset. And I'm like, see the design, see everything, and it is free. Think about the message going far. When the message goes far and you become a steward and you become a servant of the Lord, he will bring the money to you, right? Choose your platform. Don't go into too many things. Choose one and grow in it. Scale. Try and show up regularly as you can. If it is 3 times a week you can show up that way, and you continue to grow it from there. All right. Then don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. All right. And don't let design, website, logo, all those things stop you. Start posting, start showing up, and leave God to be your amplify the message and bring the rewards.
Wow, Nneka, because it is obvious how passionate you are about this. And we're going to touch some of those areas that are even outside the scope of our topic, but we'll keep to our time. One more thing before we roll out of this particular question. So with all that you've shared now, you have also shared with us that it could be profitable to the employer if a person builds their personal brand in the right way, with the right foundation and all that. The right way, is there a right way? Right. So we are going to try to have the concluding session with Nneka. So let's see if she can join in. Okay. Yeah, Nneka is here. Neka, can you?
We clearly need to do a rematch. Honestly, I don't even understand this.
Sorry
You
about
know,
that. And
I'm
we
just
had,
wondering who needs to be blessed that this kind of things. As in, I'm like, I can't even understand this. Honestly, it doesn't make any sense. How are you like everything is going on? I click other lives, I can see it.
we can,
I just can't click on this one. It doesn't make
yeah.
sense.
And
This is
we
well.
came on many. I hope that some of our friends join us again because they kept joining back just to, because what you were saying, the thing caught up at a very important part. So, but it's all good. We'll pick up from there. We'll pick up the momentum from there. And thank God the part one has been captured. So I was asking for a system or a rhythm in which a person with a 9 to 5 can mix things well, can juggle with their personal brand. That's where we
Yeah,
were.
yes,
I
that's
think you wanted to
true.
yeah.
Yeah, I was saying that the first thing is to know what you can do. Don't compare yourself to another person's own schedule. I remember that when I first started, I would see people like different people on Instagram be doing things, and I'll be like, hey, why can't I show up like them? But then I used to remind myself, you have 3 kids, you have ministry, you have a crazy work schedule. Don't do that, right? So pace yourself so that you don't burn out. Okay, so you can say, okay, I'm going to show up 3 times a week, but you must stretch yourself if you really want to do it. So I'm not saying this to say you will not stretch yourself. You will stretch yourself. There are times when you just want to sit down and relax, and you remember you've not created content. You need to sit right back up and create the content. There are, like yesterday, I really wanted to rest, but I had to show up on the live I did, then came back. I had to do some editing of a book that's coming up. After a while, I'm like, you know what? I want to rest. It's okay. I've tried. I've worked hard at work today. I've done this live. I've done this for the book. It's okay. So you've got to pace yourself, but you're going to have to stretch yourself if you want to deliver. That's the honest truth. I won't lie to you. It will require some stretching. Like DDK would say, or is it Obada Oloribo that say that the woman for the job is not the woman that receives the vision. The person
Yeah.
for the person that receives the vision, you've got to grow yourself into becoming that person. You understand? So it's going to take some work, going to take some commitment for you to become that person, but you need to stretch yourself. So a schedule of 3 times a week, and then but choose one platform and start. Pace yourself as you grow and master that platform. Then you can add others to it, or you can decide which is more effective for you. Maybe move on to another platform, shut down one. But pace yourself. Enjoy the journey. Do you understand? Don't strive for perfection right off the bat. Enjoy the journey and trust yourself, trust your process, improve as you go on, right? Because again, remember, it's about the message and those that need to hear that message.
Okay, thank you very much, Ineka. So there have been this, well, I won't say it's a debate, but this conversation it has been in talks for years now about building a personal brand versus working for someone, as it is often said. For a person who just wants to set out, that is wondering, is one better than the other, what would you have to say, or what do you have to say to such a person? Would you say starting off a business is okay, or is the first thing you should do, or working with someone, or working as an employee? I'm asking that question because you literally preach around being an happy employee and the possibilities of having bliss in your workplace. But, well, apart from the fact that some people do not experience that yet, many think that life or the escape route to that is by starting a business. So I wanted to ask, is it either or should it be, hey, based on your life's calling, you should go according to what is right for you? No one is better than the other. Then I have a follow-up question to that, but let me allow you answer this one.
So it's an ongoing debate. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. And there's this fantasy that is a lie. That being an entrepreneur is easier than being an employee. It's a lie. Being an employee gives you a framework that you can show up at. And I'm not against entrepreneurship, I'm saying that, but I'm saying be sure what you are getting into before you get into it. I was teaching again somewhere last week or 2 weeks ago, and someone asked me the question, so when do you know when it's time to move? I said, before you move, make sure that you have saved up to at least 18 months salary. Because the entrepreneurship life will shock you. I was talking to someone who left employment, and he was saying, oh, he was doing very well. You have been doing very well, which was cool. But that he was saying to me as of last month, April, that for the first 3 months of the year, he didn't get any deal. And please don't get me at saying, oh, God forbid. It's not about God forbid. It's about saying, has your business grown? It's like a child. You understand? The business has to grow up. So don't be in a hurry to say, I want to jump into not being an employee anymore. Now, if you're in a toxic environment, a place that doesn't encourage your genius, doesn't celebrate you, that's different. So, you're trying to protect your mental health, and you've done all you can. That's different. But please don't be in a hurry to say, as an escape route, it's not for me to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur, when you get a call, you cannot say, I will not pick it. I'll pick it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Except if your business is like 4 or 5 years and you have all the deals coming in. If not, you must show up Sunday to Sunday. The same way you have a new baby, you are nursing, you are carrying. That's the same way you are carrying that baby for so you must be sure you understand before you take that leap. Be sure you have the right resources to help you with the children, with your family, because family shouldn't suffer because of that. Will sacrifices be required? Yes, but don't be in a hurry to jump ship. You can do both, grow it, and there are people who have done it, who are doing it, who start and then they are growing it, and then you now take the decision to say, okay, I want to do this differently. But please, it shouldn't be that, many of us, the general narrative is, if you're an employee, you are getting the shorter end of the stick. Life is not fair to you. All that nonsense. Please, I beg, expunge those thoughts from your mind. An employee, you are genius. You are showing up to build another person's brand, but you are building yourself in the process. Never forget that.
Okay. So, Nneka, what would you say to employers who are kind of struggling with navigating having personal brands in their organization? So this thing is a thing that just started out some years ago, and they're wondering, how do I navigate having personal brands in my organization? Won't this person start feeling like she's too big or he's too big, and soon they're going to come knocking for pay increase? Or won't the people in the organization who don't have personal brands start thinking that this fairly or better than me because this person has a personal brand? So I would like you to speak from the employer's point of view now, so that any employer listening can gain some wisdom on how to navigate a setting with personal brands and, well, not chase people out of their organization out of insecurity.
I think that there's this thing it's a flux, there's a flow around it. The first thing is, when you are giving people work and they have their job descriptions, do you have systems in place to measure the output? What quantum of output do you expect from the person at that level? Has it dropped? Is it suffering? So you need to focus on, how much work do I expect this person to be doing? Are they still doing it, or are they doing less because they are building this brand that they are building? So you have to have systems in place that allow you to have effective performance measurement. So, because again, sometimes employers struggle, then begin to victimize the person unnecessarily because of that, right? So for me, for example, sometimes I feel like I'm a guinea pig in code, because I'm one of the most, at the level I am in my organization, I'm one of the most people who is out there in social media. Literally every other week I'm speaking somewhere and this and that. So I know that even me, sometimes I struggle. I know that my senior colleagues also will struggle with, but then again, some people come to you and they're like, oh, wow, Nneka, see what you're doing. Because people see what I'm doing. You come to my page, you see where I work. Today, someone DM me on LinkedIn, because my profile on LinkedIn, yes, my banner reads Happy Employee Coach. My profile reads up-to-date salary information, job evaluation, XY. So someone DM'd me, oh, I've been following you. I recently changed something even more, I had salary surveys there. But like 3 days ago, I felt it's not enough. It doesn't communicate exactly what I do. So I put up to the salary information. Today, someone DM'd me this afternoon and said, I have been reading your dilemmas of a working mom since. But now I want to ask you about salary data, because that's the core of my work. So she's been following me because of my stories of a working mom and the dilemmas. Sometimes I share funny stories, like, oh, my child is taking my pet's name from me. I share about drinking gari. I share about all sorts of things. I share about serious stuff, parenting hearts, teaching your children the word of God, just different things as it comes to me. But she's following you. I like what I've been reading, but now I see that you are talking about this. I want information, and I'm saying, send me an email. You see what I mean? So who is benefiting? I am talking about these stories. The person now sees this and has come. Who is getting the money? The company is getting the money. You see what I mean? So there's a two-way street around there. So the employer needs to be sure that they are making performance, not presence. Worry, I saw your post. or someone said to me, "You're everywhere online." I don't know if you are still there now, because it looks frozen. Okay, you're still there.
I'm here. I can hear you. I can
So
hear you.
someone says to me, "Oh, you're everywhere online. I saw you online." And I'm like, yes, I could have recorded a video on Sunday and boosted the ad, and you are seeing it everywhere. It doesn't mean I am there at that point in time.
That's true.
I have someone that helps me with my Find It Bible Games page, for example. So I could have done videos and sent, and it doesn't mean I am there at that point in time. So you must have mass management systems that ensure that you are looking at what the person is supposed to be doing. Is their contribution waning? Is it falling? If it is not, then don't go victimizing the person. But as a personal brand too, you need to now go over and beyond. That's the pressure that even I don't like. You need to go over and beyond to literally, in quotes, prove that you are still working. So that pressure I have to deal with.
Busy all day building your personal brand.
Do you understand?
Time.
So I deal with that pressure. I'm just being real and honest. Where I'm like, will they say? So sometimes I wake up early in the morning, I write my post about this. People are on the way home from work, they're watching stuff, I'm writing in the car. People, I'm at a party, I'm writing, so I am doing all of those things. And I said that to one of my bosses recently. The person was like, I can see you are writing. And I had to just say, see, when I write and post, it gives me energy. So I am stressed at work. The work is crazy. But when I post on LinkedIn, when I post on Instagram, when I send out my email list, I am energized. You may say, like what DDK calls creative stress, not chaotic. So I am energized when I show up. I'm pumped to show up better for other things I want to do. You see what I mean? So you must know what you are. As a personal brand, the truth is, personally, I haven't seen how to deal with it, but you have that pressure of wondering what people are thinking about you, of wondering what people are saying, of wondering how they're assessing you. And honestly, for me, I'm accountable to God. The message is important. God sent me. I am not confused about it. Jesus sent me, and I'm constantly saying, Lord, and it gives me wisdom. Things that may take people longer to do. 4 hours, in 1 hour or 1.5 hours, I'm done. And I'm like, Holy Spirit, thank you. Do you understand? I'm like, Holy Spirit, thank you, because he gives me ideas. He says, check this. Don't send that report yet. Wait. I'll wait in the morning. I'll see something that could have caused problems. Or a deal, we lose a deal. Recently, it happened to me. We lost a deal and I was feeling very bad. And he said to me, call this person, call that person. And we made the money back. And the boss is happy. Everybody's excited. Yes. He said to me, for something that we were doing free, he said to me, call this, call that, they will pay. I call this person, I've been doing that service for these companies for free for years. He said, and some of them will pay. And they paid. And we made that money back. Guess what? Boss is happy. Boss is wondering, but she's making money. The clients are happy. You see what I mean? The clients are happy. She's doing what two people were doing before. And nothing is dropping. It's carrying on. That's the Holy Ghost. Because I am his staff. He sent me on assignment. If he leaves me, I don't want to be spending energy talking. I'd rather be lying down now and being live and shouting, hey, be happy at work. Oh, hey. You get what I mean? But he gives me the passion. He gives me the energy. You understand? And I am showing up to deliver this. And he gives me ideas. So personal brand out there, know that you're going to have to deal with this. It's just the fact. But always leaning on the Holy Spirit. Remember to ask him, Baba, hey, this report needs to go. This analysis must come out. How are we going to do it? This project must succeed. In the last 1 year, 2 years, I have come up with a lot more successful projects than before. I'm telling you, even with with all the things I'm doing, I'm telling you the truth.
Wow. So at the end of the day, Ndeka, you're saying if you give your company the results, which is what you said, it should be performance over presence, then there will be no problem. The problem is when you're busy with your personal brand, but you keep giving excuses at work and they can't see any results. Wow. Okay. This has answered that question. I mean, the topic of the question, you have been able to answer it. So let me ask the final question. Because I was rushing out of the house. I didn't take my notes for the rapid fire question. But I'm going to call you back when we are going to have rapid fire questions. It's like a fun session, but don't worry, we'll call you back again. So the final question for this regarding this topic is, what would you say? I know, Nneka, you have spoken both on your faith and your own integrity, but this is happening out there, and I would like you to please speak on it as we close out. We have a lot of people who are branching out to their personal brands with something similar to what their organization is doing, because that's what they are good at. So, for instance, let me just say HR. You are doing HR at work or whatever. Then you are also branching out into your personal brand of whatever sort to help people with their resource management. I mean, please speak to us so that those who are having the lines blurred can know what is right and wrong. What should it be? Should a person be doing that? The HR you are doing at work, you are also talking about it online. Well, that's one. But you are also consulting for people as well. If yes, how should a person go about it? If no, a person with such desire, what do they do? Do they resign? So that would be the concluding question.
So I would like to answer that question this way. The core of what your employer is using to make money and the same clientele should not be who you are serving. So if, for example, your employer is serving big brands, maybe you want to serve SMEs, really small companies that you know would not come to your company. You've got to be very careful. But my preference is that you do something that is not exactly what you are doing at work. And now, even if you are a HR person, as a HR manager, the HR manager serving the company, your company is not providing HR services to companies. You are HR within the company serving one company. So it's different from saying, so I'm HR, I'm coordinating recruitment, coordinating this. And then I go to another, so I'm not consulting for another company. I don't think there's a conflict in that, because my Diageo, my whatever company will not be providing consulting services to other companies. So you are not acting as a consultant. So your capacity has changed from consultant to practitioner. There are two different things. I think that is fine. So if you're a finance person, head of finance or finance treasury manager, you are doing that at work, you can then be a consultant. So you're a practitioner and consultant. There are two different roles. That's my view on that, right? But as a consultant, should I be consulting for others? Personally, I'd rather not do that, because I feel like before you know, the lines are blurred, you've crossed the line, you are not quite sure where. So I'd rather you say, look for something else. For example, when I teach people to be happy at work, it's not the core of what I do at work, but it's still in the HR line, because again, it's about being productive and being happy. You understand? But the core of what I do is around salary survey design, job evaluation and grading and things like that. But here I'm teaching employees. My audience really is the employees. Do I get hired by employers to talk to employees all the time? I tell people I get calls, now I come and talk to my people, and I get paid for that. And yes, I do that. But when I go there, I'm also still talking to the employees. Hold your own story. Tell your own story. Hold your own joy. Don't leave it to somebody else. You understand? So for me, it's just searching yourself and saying, if you want to branch out, then branch out. But let's just be careful. And you can even build your personal brand and get speaking gigs and say you will not do anything consulting until you are able to separate the two. You see what I mean?
Yes. Okay. So that totally works. Well, what final words do you have for us? In our fun facts questions, one of the things we usually ask, which I can ask you now, is what would you like to be remembered for? And then what are your final words for today? It has been a very impactful life, actually, despite the distractions. It has been highly impactful. I didn't know you were so much of a fun person. Actually, yeah, you are.
So my thank you, Nkechi. Thank you very much. My final words would be that everyone has a message, but the methodology and the mode which share that message can be different and unique. Okay, so start sharing the message. There is no perfect time. Clarity comes with execution. All right, honor the genius that you are and start sharing that message. And then look and learn. So look at other people who are doing it and just keep learning. And those will be my final words. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nneka. We're definitely bringing you back. We'll bring you back. Thank you for all that you do, your time, and the replay will definitely be available for more people to keep watching. We'll also put it on YouTube as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. I'll look forward to the next session.
Thank you to everybody that joined us. Very important. Thank you.
All right.